The average person is said to spend 15 minutes in the bathroom. Why not take advantage of that time and learn something new? Presenting the 15-minute podcast on weird facts, crazy details, and funny particulars that you'll be able to enjoy while you're taking a on your free time. Welcome to This Shit with Sam Butler. Welcome to another episode of The Shit Podcast. I have a very special guest, a good friend of mine, stand-up comedian. You guys have seen him here before. A big welcome to my friend, Israel One Bad Comic Garcia. Welcome back, buddy.
What up? Sam Butler, Está Cagado Podcast, baby. Second time. I'm back.
You're back.
I'm back.
It's good to have you back, dude. After the last episode, we had
I was waiting for you to call me back. You never called me. I thought you didn't like me.
Bro, after having to hire that coyote to get you back last time.
No. And then you crossed me back. And then I broke my ID, right?
Yeah.
Like my license is broken.
I know, it's in half.
And then you're like, don't worry, you'll be fine. I'm like, I don't know. This is a good idea, Sam. I'm going to have to cross back again.
It's still you, bro.
Yeah.
I know. It's like, it's still me. It's broken in half, but it's still me. Nah, it just depends on who's the guard. But so far, everybody's been pretty nice.
Yeah, I love it. I love coming back. I always love coming back to the studio.
Yeah, and Juarez is a nice place. I mean, I know a lot of people talk bad about Mexico, act like it's. But we had dinner the other night. What'd you think? It's pretty nice, right?
Yeah, I love it, man. I've never had any issues or nothing like that. So
yeah,
I think it's always great. The people are great. The food is great. The comedians are awesome.
Yeah, you did your first open mic in Spanish here in Juarez.
Oh yeah, that's right. I did that. Where was it at? Where did we do it?
It was at Recoveco bar. It was a little bar, but it was nice. It was nice,
That's
intimate,
right.
open
I
mic.
did about 6 minutes and I shit my pants a little bit.
Yeah,
not gonna lie.
yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see.
Se me salió la caquita.
It was cool to see you nervous on stage. You
I
know.
was like, entonces es que porque las viudas negras.
I was telling all the guys, no, he's a really good stand-up, believe me. And then you go up there and do that, and I was like, no, I'm serious. You gotta believe me. He's pretty good. But I'm glad you're able to be here. Doing this episode. This episode will actually air, if you could call it that. Will be released the week of Valentine's Day.
Oh.
All right, so you got any special plans for Valentine's Day?
I'm going to be performing at the comic strip. Make sure you guys check it out.
That's cool. El Paso comic strip.
Yeah, I'm going to be at the comic strip with Chichi Salazar, Angel Salazar from Scarface.
Oh, really?
Yo, Chichi, get the yayo.
Yeah. Wow, okay, that's cool.
So I'll probably be doing cocaine on my Valentine's.
That's romantic.
Yeah. Imagine. Total wired.
Wow, I haven't seen that guy in so long, man.
Who, Chichi?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Angel.
I know. It's been years.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
He parties hard, man.
We did a movie. We were extras in a movie he did one time. It was a terrible movie, but
Wait, you and Angel Salazar?
yeah, dude. But it aired at the movie theaters there in El Paso, and we were watching this thing. And we're just going like,
That's
yeah, this thing's horrible, and I'm a horrible actor. That's what I found out.
What was your character?
I was a thug. I was a fight scene.
Okay,
I was like, I cannot.
see you. Are you like the big goon guy? Or
Yeah,
or
I
are you
just
like
got-
a guy who runs stuff?
Yeah, I didn't have any like speaking roles
All
or
right,
anything
so
like
you're
that.
just in the
I was
back.
just in the back pretending to fight. I'm like, you can't pretend to fight. You gotta like really fight.
Yeah, you're the guy who defends the weak boss. Like, hey, get him.
Yeah, I think we were just thugs.
Yeah,
it's
okay,
been a
that's
long time, but it was cool. We had a little launch party and stuff. Little launch stand-up comedy
Pretty
show.
sweet. Now I want to watch it.
Yeah, it was terrible.
You
but
should post it up. Post the link to the.
I don't know where it is.
You don't know
Honestly,
where it is?
I don't even remember what it's
in
called.
It's in the basement of something.
Yeah, it was terrible.
The clearance Netflix category.
I don't even think it made it to like straight to video. I think it's some guy's house right now.
It went straight to VHS, dog.
Not even that, bro. It's like it's straight into the basement of the dude's house that produced it. But anyway, I wanted to talk about everybody celebrates Valentine's Day, and I'm thinking like, do you even know where it comes from?
I have no idea.
Who was Saint Valentine?
I thought it was. If you ask me, I think it was invented by a woman.
It was invented.
I don't think there's a man.
It was actually invented by
That would be like, hey, you know what would be great? Let's have a day that gives me a headache.
Yeah. Actually, one of the tips that they said is if you really want to have a good Valentine's Day, let her buy everything. You just pay for it.
Oh.
Yeah, that way she can get what she wants.
If only it was that easy, because they never know what they want.
Yeah, but
even when you give them the choice.
So Saint Valentine, there's a couple of theories. Nothing is concrete as far as this character that we now celebrate on Saint Valentine's Day, which was supposed to be the saint of love, but not really. He's also the saint of epilepsy.
Wait, hold up.
No, for real. He's a patron saint of epilepsy and bookkeepers, like accountants.
Is epilepsy the one where you just
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Sorry, people with epilepsy.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, bro. Wait,
I hope this show doesn't have flashes on it.
No, but he's a patron saint of epilepsy and the patron saint of bookkeepers. So,
well, I mean,
that's like
you can't have two of the things that are the opposite things that will help each other.
Yeah, those are totally extreme. You know,
can't have an epilepsy bookkeeper, dude.
No,
be the worst. The books are all scratched off.
Yeah. So he's a saint. He's a saint for love, and he's a saint, the patron saint of epilepsy, and the patron saint of bookkeepers. Wow. Now, the thing about it is, there's several stories of two different guys that were both named Valentine, and they both did very similar things. For example, at this point in time, we're talking about the year 270. This is before the Roman Empire says Christianity is the state religion. That happened around the year 300. Wow. So 30 years before Christianity becomes the religion in Rome, Christians were being persecuted. This guy gets imprisoned, and while he's imprisoned, he cures, and he's like in house arrest in somebody's house, and he cures their daughter through a miracle. And
what cures her from what?
Yeah, maybe epilepsy. You know, that's how you got the deal, right?
That makes sense.
Actually, some of the articles said it was blindness. Other articles said it was some sort of health issue, that maybe epilepsy. And part of the saint depiction is a child that is sickly or crippled at the base, and flowers and stuff like that. And a ledger for bookkeepers. I don't know. A ledger. But so the Roman Catholic Church establishes or recognizes Saint Valentine as this man that cured this little girl and converted the whole family to Christianity.
What?
Right. But he gets his head chopped off by Claudius.
Wow. So that didn't last long.
Didn't last long. Claudius II. Now, this was a guy named Valentine that was from Rome, and there was another guy named Valentine that was from Terni, Italy. So they're two different guys. And they get tossed to the side of the road. Both of them are imprisoned. Both of them cure somebody, and both of them get their heads chopped off. And so that creates suspicion as to whether this really happened or not.
Wow.
Right? They're going like, it's crazy that both accounts are so similar. So that makes me think that it didn't really happen.
Wow.
Right? But the Catholic Church recognizes over 12 different Saint Valentines. Apparently, Valentine was a very popular name.
Valentine's a slut.
Yeah. Well, it was 12
He's
different
slut.
12 different dudes. There was even a Pope Valentine.
A Pope Valentine?
A Pope Valentine.
Wow.
But the one that they recognize is the one that supposedly was curing people, but he also secretly married people that weren't allowed to get married.
What?
So that's why he's the saint, the patron saint of love, because he was always championing these engagements, and he was having these secret weddings, and it was because of that he got the reputation.
Wow.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Henry VIII?
No.
Okay.
Was he evil?
Henry VIII was he was a king of England. He's the Tudors, and he was the guy that pretty much kicked the Catholic Church to the curb. He's married. He's married to Catherine of Aragon, the Spanish princess, and they're married. And of course, this union's blessed by the Pope. And then he meets, I think it was Jane Boylan. Yeah, one of the Boylan girls. There was movies and stuff about it. And that's his mistress, and she is part of the...
So he's got that side going on.
Well, the thing is that at this point in time, there's people starting to protest the Catholic Church. That's where Protestant comes from. And she's one of the Boylans, and he starts to see her as his mistress, so he decides to get divorced. The Pope says, you can't get divorced. And she says, well, I thought you were the King of England. Why are you listening to the Pope? She says, yeah, you're right. Why do
There's always a woman behind every evil act that a man does.
Actually, it was a good
Men are motivated by evil because of women.
Well, it was a good thing though, because this is when he breaks away from the Catholic Church and he starts the Anglican Church, the Church of England. And so this is the first time that you actually have the Catholic Church loses 100% control of the whole world.
Oh, okay, got you. So he broke away from.
Yeah, he broke away from the church, and now he created enemies with Spain and France because they were the swords of the church.
Yeah.
So now he has to go to war with Spain because he's divorcing the Spanish princess, and he also has to go to war with France because France defends the Pope, and the Pope says, if you go through with this, then you're gonna have to face the consequences.
Yeah.
Well, England wins in both occasions, and they're costly battles. And there's a whole story behind that and how they needed money, and that's where a lot of the problems with Scotland happened because they start taxing whiskeys and they start taxing different things. But it was the Anglican Church. It was Henry VIII who actually recognized February 14th as the day of the feast for Valentine's Day.
Wow.
Right.
So, okay, that's great. I appreciate the facts here, but what does that have to do with buying chicks shit?
That just means that you're going to have to...
Like, how do women manipulate this to be about them? You know what I mean? Like, really, like...
Well, it has to do with love. Yeah. It has to do with love, with flowers, with everything. There's a lot of other things that come into play, like Cupid but that
comes after.
Yeah, that comes after. But just like all the other holidays, like Christmas and like Easter, right? They start out as a Roman Catholic type celebration, but then remember, Constantine makes Christianity the world religion of the time. And now all these other countries, territories that are doing different things, like Africa, for example, where hoodoo and voodoo were prevalent, get intertwined into the everyday practices. So when you start looking at hearts and flowers and Cupid and Cupid's arrow and all of that becomes part of this celebration.
So it's all mixed.
It's all mixed. I mean, just look at Easter, for example. Look at Lent. When you look at the carnival, the carnival in New Orleans or in Brazil, they're throwing beads. Well, coincidentally, there's rosary beads.
Yeah.
Right. That have to do with worship.
Oh wow.
Right. So it's all mixed in. Easter, fertility, rabbits. Right. And that's part of the resurrection. So all of this paganism gets involved with these celebrations. Right. And now, this is something I didn't know. Both Western churches, Christian churches, and Eastern Orthodox Christian churches celebrate Saint Valentine's Day. The difference is the Western churches celebrated February 14th. The Eastern Orthodox churches celebrated on the 6th of July and on the 30th of July. The 6th of July is when he becomes an elder of the church, Saint Valentine, and the 30th of July is when he gets beheaded, So they celebrate both times, the Valentine's Day feast.
Wow, so we celebrate somebody's getting their head chopped off.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Oh, yeah. How romantic.
Romantic. One of the articles said that if you search the internet, you can find plenty of stories about them, but it's not believed that the romance part of it came to play until a poet from a medieval poet, Geoffrey Chaucer, invented the actual Valentine's Day. He had a romantic poem, and that becomes part of the Valentine's Day celebration. So in his work, in the Parliament of Fowls, and when it's talking about fowls, it's talking about like birds, right? He links the tradition of courtly love, in other words, dating someone, with the celebration of Saint Valentine's feast day, an association that didn't exist until after his poem received widespread attention. So his poem goes viral at that time, and it refers to February 14th as the day of birds coming together and mating. You remember the birds and the bees? So it's one of those things where it's like he implies that this is the day that you come together and mate. And this was sent on Saint Valentine's Day, that every fowl cometh there choose his mate. That was part of the poem. And that's how Valentine's Day was created.
That's better.
It's not just women. Don't be a woman hater, bro.
I know. I know I'm a little jaded. I apologize, but I hope everybody's having a great Valentine's Day today. I know I'm a little angry, but
it's not their fault, bro. It's your fault. 90% of the time is your fault.
Sorry I cheated, all right?
But that is, in a nutshell, how we came.
That's interesting, man.
Yeah, there's actually several more Valentines. There's actually a Valentina. She's the woman that you might choose, the only Saint Valentine, Valentina, a virgin martyred in Palestine on July 25th, 308. So the Eastern Orthodox Church officially celebrates her as well.
Wow.
So it was a very common name. I guess it was like Jose today.
Valentina. I love that name. It's a pretty name.
Yeah, it's a good hot sauce too. And
good hot sauce.
We actually have an episode on Valentina hot sauce, so check it out. But with that, we wrap up this episode of the Shit Podcast talking about Valentine's.
Right on, man. I appreciate the knowledge, bro.
Yeah, man. Go out and enjoy yourselves. And now you have something to talk about over dinner with your partner. You don't just have to sit there. And if you got to look at your phones during dinner, just watch one of my episodes.
You take a shit at the Olive Garden restroom.
And with that, I want to thank you for being back on the podcast, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Sam.
Where can people find you on your social media?
Y'all can look me up pretty much anything at One Bad Comic on Instagram, Facebook. Everything's One Bad Comic, TikTok, One Bad Comic. So
also, you have a new podcast. I love it, dude. It's called Vinyl Snacks.
Oh, yeah, I do. I have a podcast called Vinyl Snacks. It's pretty much a podcast based on my record collection. So each week I pick out a record and I talk about the history of the album and, the origins of it. So it's pretty interesting. If you guys are interested in that, make sure you guys check it out. It's called Vinyl Snacks. It's on my YouTube also, One Bad Comic.
One Bad Comic. And with that, we're wrapping it up. You can find me as Está Cagado Podcast on all social media platforms. That's the Spanish version of this podcast, Está Cagado Podcast. You'll find the shit on that channel. And you can find me on social media as Tu Amigo Sam, as well as my YouTube channel. Please like, subscribe, leave some comments. If you have weird facts about Valentine's Day, leave them. If you have memes, put them up. It's coming up, so let's have a good time with this. Guys, thank you very much. That wraps us up. We'll catch you on the next one.